Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today I'm going over each step I took to open my vintage storefront. I opened the store about 6 months ago and last weekend I expanded and added 10 local vintage sellers. In this video I'm going to be going over everything I did to open the storefront. So if you're wanting to open a shop or you're just interested in the process, this video is for you. I do want to start with a disclaimer that I am not an expert. Everything I learned was through my own experience, and what worked for me might not be best for you, but this is what worked for me. The first thing I did was start selling online. I started selling clothing online about 8 years ago, and at that point I wasn't even thinking about opening a storefront. But this is where it all really started. I've been slowly growing an audience online for the last 8 years, and obviously you don't have to sell online for 8 years to open a storefront, but it was definitely beneficial for me. The second thing I did was constantly try new things. Over those 8 years, I tried a lot of different things and businesses to find out what worked best for me. I tried selling ceramic home decor, gift boxes, dried flowers, candles. I've probably tried about 20 different business ideas. It's kind of embarrassing looking back at everything I've tried, because on the surface they look like failures, but in reality doing those things has led me to the things that have worked. They weren't failures because I learned so much about business and marketing. I continue trying new things and a lot of things don't end up working out. And that's okay because every once in a while something will stick and work out and it will all be worth it. The third thing I did was really hone in on my branding. I created a cohesive, unique brand that helped my company stand out online. And then when I opened the shop, I was able to translate that branding into the storefront. People will buy into the brand and personality of your store. Okay, once I started looking for locations, I had to figure out a budget. I factored in everything it took to run my business to see what I could afford for rent. Factor in everything, like your POS system, building out your store, purchasing products, just everything. Let me know if you want me to make a video of all the expenses I have for running a storefront. The next step is picking the right location. I looked for about a year before I found my storefront. I knew I wanted to be on Main Street in my city. Main Street has old historical buildings that really fit the vibe of my store. The street gets a lot of traffic and foot traffic. There are other shops on my street that invite more traffic to my store. There's a coffee shop, a donut shop, a gem studio, and a yoga studio. While I was looking, I was mostly on LoopNet and Facebook Marketplace. I also reached out to all of the owners of the buildings I was interested in. But the way I ended up finding my storefront was just a sign on the window. The first thing I did after I signed the lease was get all of my legal stuff figured out. I am not a professional. Make sure you're talking to the right people to make sure you are compliant. A resource that was really helpful for me was the U.S. Small Business Administration. They were able to answer all of my questions and simplify everything for me. The next step is picking your POS system. I was trying to decide between Shopify and Square, and I ended up going with Shopify. I don't really remember why. I think it was just crunch time and I needed to make a decision. I think both are great options. I love Shopify because I can still have everything listed on my website online and inventory will be tracked. Shopify also has a lot of great apps that you can integrate into your website. Like I have a barcode generator app that allows me to tag all of my items in the shop. I'm also able to print shipping labels directly from the website and it makes shipping really easy. I'm also able to list on Etsy and Depop and inventory is synced. There's also an app that allows my in-store vendors to list their items online. My customers also love the rewards program that I have through Shopify. The POS system they send you is really simple to use. All you have to do is get your own iPad and everything is pretty straightforward. The next thing I did right after I signed the lease was start marketing for the grand opening. I had about a month from the time I signed the lease to my grand opening. The first thing I did was create a few reels. I posted them on Instagram and then I boosted them to my local audience. I ran a lot of Instagram local ads during that month and I think that was the main reason my grand opening was successful. I did think about dropping off flyers to local businesses and paying to have them sent out to homes in the area, but I decided most of my audience is on Instagram anyway and I'd rather put more money into one marketing avenue rather than spread myself too thin. I also documented everything I was doing over that month and people like to follow along on Instagram. The next step is building out your store. I mapped out the store and figured out where I wanted everything to go. The storefront is only 300 square feet, so it's tiny, so I needed to optimize the space. The next step was the grand opening. Now I wanted to make this as big as possible. If you're excited about it and you're making it a big deal, then other people will make it a big deal too. I offered gift bags to the first 10 shoppers that included freebies and gift cards to local businesses. I also had the grand opening event listed on Google, Facebook Marketplace, and Eventbrite. I also hosted a giveaway for the grand opening on Instagram. I also had my sister come and do permanent jewelry, and I had free flowers and donuts and cake. On the day of the grand opening, I had about 10 people in line at 9 o'clock, and then at 10 o'clock when I opened, there was probably about 70 people in line. It was amazing, a dream come true, and it couldn't have gone any better. The final step is moving forward after the grand opening. The first thing is making sure you're taking care of yourself mentally. Opening a storefront or opening a business in general is exhausting. You're working constantly. And after the grand opening, I could have continued working at that pace because there's always something more to do. But it's so important to take a step back and find time away from your business. When you run your own business, it is your life. It's so part of you, and it's hard to not get caught up in it. It's important to find a good balance, and this is something I'm working on right now. Another thing going forward is continue to try new things. It can be exhausting to continually try new things and be creative, but it is so important for the growth of your business. You need to start framing things that don't work as wins because they're helping you get to the things that will work. The last step for you is to figure out how to delegate. There was a point after I opened the shop that I knew I could not get all the work done by myself. I decided to hire someone, and it was very scary because I was giving up some control over my business and I had to pay them. But I've realized that my business has grown exponentially since I hired someone. And it's because now I have time to work on my business rather than in my business. This has freed up my brain space to be more creative and be able to think of new ways to market and grow my business. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Let me know in the comments if you want me to dive any deeper into any of these topics, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!